So in today's episode, we're going to be doing something a little different. Rather than just focusing on a deep dive into the abstraction of Bitcoin, I'm going to be getting my hands dirty with this practical action of demonstrating a Bitcoin multi-signature security setup. And this is a service provided by Casa. So today we're going to set up a multi-signature key shield using multiple hardware wallets in a way that will help demystify one of the more technical sides of Bitcoin security. And again, this is somewhat mysterious, right? You've probably never heard of multi-signature custody, but it is the most important aspect of holding your Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, in my view, is the modern implementation of the ancient principle of inviolable property. However, you cannot just buy Bitcoin on an exchange and leave it there and expect that property to be inviolable. It must be custodied properly. This is a big asterisk on my claim that Bitcoin is inviolable property. You must do it in a geographically distributed multi-signature custody schema. That is how you make your property right in Bitcoin extremely difficult, if not impossible, to break. So that's one big reason why multi-sig matters, is that it really empowers an owner to have full control and discretion over their Bitcoin holdings. When you leave your Bitcoin on an exchange, you don't actually have Bitcoin, right? If you've logged into a Coinbase account, for instance, and purchased Bitcoin, you've sent Coinbase the exchange dollars, you've used those dollars to purchase Bitcoin, and on your Coinbase interface, it's going to tell you you have X number of Bitcoin after you've made that transaction. However, that number on the Coinbase interface is not Bitcoin. That is an IOU from Coinbase to you. You have not taken possession of that asset. So if enough people do this, if enough people trust, and I'm picking on Coinbase right now, but this really applies to any centralized custodian. If enough people choose to trust centralized custodians with their assets, that gives exchanges the ability to basically run fractional reserves, right? And this is the whole problem we're escaping with Bitcoin from central banking, is that central banks ran fractional reserves on gold. That's what led to fiat currency, this global fraud that we talk so much about on the show. Similarly, if you have all of your Bitcoin centrally custodied, then you can have basically these exchanges running fractional reserves on top of Bitcoin as well. So you end up with a violation of the supply cap of Bitcoin. So instead of 21 million Bitcoin, there might be 50 or 100 million paper, air quotes, paper Bitcoin in circulation, meaning that there's a lot more claims to Bitcoin or represented ownership stakes of Bitcoin than there are actual Bitcoin. And if enough people demand to withdraw their Bitcoin from exchanges, fractional reserve Bitcoin exchanges become impossible, right? You can't, the fraud is exposed effectively. So you might be asking yourself, how is self-custody safer with the inclusion of a counterparty? This seems almost antithetical to the ethos of Bitcoin. And you also might be asking yourself, isn't that exactly what Bitcoin is designed to avoid? Well, as you'll see during the process of this implementation, Casa in no way has any control over your Bitcoin whatsoever. They are merely a service provider that helps facilitate the multi-signature custody setup in a less complex way. There's a way to do this with open source software tools, and you can do it, customized yourself. But in that world, most people just aren't technically sophisticated enough, myself included, to do that. So what I prefer to do is have a service provider abstract away the complexity and just present to me a solution that allows me to manage my keys in a very self-sovereign way. Again, that I have sovereignty plus redundancy, but low complexity. And that's exactly what Casa does. So when you do self-custody for your own and or your family's Bitcoin in a safe way that is not susceptible to any single point of attack, but it's also done in such a way that you have an inheritance plan in the event of anything unexpected happening. You will become part of the standard operations of all sovereign individuals across the globe. This is the path to individual sovereignism, frankly, right? To have full control over yourself and your assets, totally immune to the opinion of anyone else. And so today we're going to go from start to finish to demystify the process of implementing multi-signature custody. This will not be a complete technical deep dive, but it will be an accessible first step into multisig setup. So first, what is multisig? Think about those movies where a nuke needs to be launched and two guys have to turn the key simultaneously to unlock the launch button. Multisig is that process. It guarantees that no single key, if found, can do a thing without at least one more key being activated simultaneously. So most Bitcoin wallets only require one key to send Bitcoin. Casa uses multiple keys, which makes your money extra safe and secure. Each key is held on a different device. So this can be a mix of your phone. This could be a mix of offline hardware wallets, could be a mix of paper wallets. In terms of hardware wallets, Casa supports wallets from Trezor, Ledger, and Cold Card. So you can mix and match those as well. And the other key point here is it would be pretty pointless to do a multi-signature setup with all of those keys maintained in one location, right? If you set up a 3-shard multi-signature setup and you kept all those keys in one safe, that would be pretty pointless. So getting geographic distribution or multi-location setup is important as well, in a way that each key is stored in a different location, which makes it nearly impossible for a thief or a natural disaster to cause you to lose more than one key at a time. All right, so with the Casa product, there's 4 levels of service. They offer a free wallet. Then they offer a gold, platinum, and diamond annual membership package. And each one of these basically offers additional levels of service. And they basically recommend you increasing your level of service based on the total dollar value of your Bitcoin holdings. So for less than $75,000 in Bitcoin held, the gold package is typically sufficient. For between $75,000 and $500,000 in Bitcoin holdings, the platinum package is recommended. And finally, the diamond package is recommended for $500,000 and above worth of Bitcoin held. Okay, so with all that intro out of the way, we're about to cut to the setup process with Phil from Casa. And at this point in the process, I have signed up for the Platinum account and received my starter pack in the mail, including everything I've mentioned: hardware wallets, Faraday bags, etc. We'll drop into the point where we set up the first of 3 hardware wallets. I've got basically everything open in front of me. So
all right, so let's start with the ledger. If you could crack open the ledger and plug in the device into your computer.
I might need to get an adapter. Let's see what they got in here.
Oh, we would have included an adapter in your package.
Is that
so
what
there's a little white anchor box?
Oh, the anchor box. Okay. Okay. Bingo. So adapter, USB.
Perfect.
Ledger. Okay.
Okay, so that should light up once it's plugged in.
Yep. Just welcome to Ledger Nano S.
Perfect. So you're going to click the 2 buttons on the top. You're going to click to the right until you see set up as new device.
Okay.
And then press both buttons.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to set up a pin for your device. You're going to want to, if you have a pen and paper handy, it'd be good to write down the pin that you'd like to use. We're going to use this pin across all 3 devices. And so if you could select a numeric pin 4 to 8 digits long, and ideally with no zeros. And the reason for that is that the Trezors don't allow for the 0 digit.
I suppose you want this written down, not typed, right? The pen
yeah,
number.
yeah, just to reference while we're doing the setups.
Okay.
And then once we're done, it's handy to keep a copy of the PIN inside a password keeper if you use one. So
Okay.
like 1Password or LastPass, something
Okay.
like that.
Cool. So it says choose PIN code. I double click the buttons.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you'll be able to scroll through the numbers.
Yep.
And when you get to the number you want, you double click and move to the next.
Okay.
Once you enter the last digit, you'll scroll through until you see the check mark.
Yep.
And then you'll press both buttons on the check mark to lock it in.
Okay. And then confirm it.
Yeah, and then you'll have to enter it in to confirm it.
Okay. All right. It says write down your recovery phrase.
Sorry, right now, what does it say on the?
It says word 1.
Okay, perfect. So do you see the word? Don't tell me what it is. Okay, perfect. So inside the ledger box, there's a recovery phrase card numbered 1 to 24. You're gonna write down all 24 words.
Okay, looks like I've got multiple recovery phrases. So am I writing it down on all 3 cards?
No, the others are extra. So you just need the 1 card. Yeah.
Just 1. Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm just gonna scroll through and write down the words.
Yeah, scroll through, write down the words. You don't want them to be on camera. So if you want to turn your camera off, you could.
I think it's off camera.
Okay, yeah, it is. Yeah, I can't see it.
Yeah, well, so part of the intention of this is to distribute some of these. I don't know if you call them key shards or, well, I guess these. What do you call these? They're just individual keys.
That's it.
3 or
They're
5.
keys.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm setting this up for some of my family members, so it's going to be distributed amongst a few different people. So I guess we should talk about that when we're done.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. I think that one's done. And then
So now you're gonna, if you've written down 24 words, you're gonna want to click to the right a couple of times to see, and you'll see confirm recovery phrase.
Yep.
So now it's going to test you on that you wrote down the words correctly. So if you double click on that, it'll show you word 1 and it'll show you the wrong word.
Okay.
And now you have to scroll through the words until you find the right one that you wrote down. Select it by double clicking and repeat that for all 24. This is the longest part of the process, getting set up. Yeah.
This is good though. This is secure.
Yes.
Embedding all your money in inscrutable chaos, right? Isn't that the whole point?
Yeah, absolutely. The Trezor setup's a little bit faster. We're not going to write down the 24 words for the Trezors.
Got it.
And we can talk a little bit about the logic of just keeping 1 seed phrase. Yeah.
And does it tell me if I mess up immediately, or does it not wait until the end to tell me?
No, it'll tell you right away.
Okay. So far, so good then. Okay. These 24 words are your only backup. Keep them in a secure place.
Perfect. Click right until you see press both buttons to continue, and then you'll see processing.
Processing. Okay, your device is now ready.
Can you click right once to the right, please, and then click both buttons?
Yep. Okay. It says settings.
Perfect. Okay. I'm in the chat. I'm dropping a link to Ledger Live. If you don't have it, you can download it there.
Desktop download, installing in applications, Ledger Live. Okay.
Once that's in, you can open it up, and then you'll have an option to get started, is what it will say.
All right. Opening Ledger Live.
Perfect.
All right. It says get started.
Perfect.
Enter app, and I have a Nano S.
Nano S. Yep.
It says first time using your Nano S or already have a recovery phrase. I guess I already have recovery phrase.
That's correct.
So connect your Nano S. Okay, cool.
Perfect.
All right. It says genuine check.
Check my Nano.
Yep. Check my Nano. Sweet. Says all good.
Now, on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see some options. You see manager towards the bottom.
Yep.
If you could go in there, and should prompt you inside of manager, it'll tell you if there's a firmware update.
Firmware is outdated. So update firmware.
Yes, please. So the Ledger Live will show you, at a certain point, it'll show you an identifier, alphanumeric code, and it'll ask you to verify on the device that they're the same code. So you can just kind of scroll through and double click when you're satisfied
Okay.
that they're the same, and then it'll finish off the firmware update.
Okay, now it says verify the identifier.
Yep, perfect. That's it.
So scroll to the right.
Yes.
So check this character by character.
Yeah, you can.
Kind of spot check it.
Yeah, sometimes you just do the first 5 characters and the last 5 and kind of make sure
Okay.
they match
Yeah.
up.
All right, fair enough. Yep, looks good. Perform update.
Perfect.
And then I'm entering my PIN. Okay, processing.
It'll ask you to enter your PIN once it's done processing to open it up again.
Okay, all right. Enter my PIN again. Okay, back to settings. And it
Perfect.
says firmware updated.
Awesome. Okay, so back on Ledger Live in the manager, you'll see an app catalog. And the very first application is the Bitcoin app.
Okay, so hit install apps.
And then we'll install the Bitcoin app.
Let's see, allow Ledger Manager. And just hit install Bitcoin.
Perfect.
And that's the only app I need, baby.
That's it. That's it.
Okay, all right. I'm on the Bitcoin app on the Ledger. Should I open that?
For now, you're done. So
Okay, cool.
you can hit the X, the red button for quitting Ledger Live.
Quit Ledger Live. Okay.
Please. Okay. Now we're going to label that that ledger as your home key.
Okay.
So in that black pouch, in that black resealable pouch that you had, there's some sticker labels in there.
This one here, right?
Perfect. Yeah. So in there, you're going to have your key labels.
Okay.
So we're going to label this one the home key. So there should be a little sticker with a home on it. And we're simply just going to stick that to the back of the...
That one, I'm pretty sure.
That's it. Perfect. Okay. So we're just going to stick that to the metal part of the ledger. Okay. It's a little bit wider than the metal, so you can just wrap it around. It'll still open and close. Yeah. Excellent.
All right, just like that.
Perfect. Great. So you can unplug the ledger and just put it aside for now. We'll use it again when we connect it to the multisig in the app. Yeah, it's the same for the Trezors. So you can unbox the first Trezor.
Okay.
Plug it in. So I dropped a link to the Trezor website that we'll use, wallet.trezor.io.
Time to install device firmware.
Yep. Okay, let's go ahead and update the firmware then.
Okay. So install firmware. It says erasing on the Trezor. And installing. New firmware successfully installed. You may now unplug your Trezor.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead.
Unplug. Replug.
Yes, please.
Update finished successfully. Please reconnect the device.
Okay, so repeat, unplug and plug it back in.
One more. Okay, it says on the browser, create new wallet or recover existing wallet.
Create new wallet.
Okay.
Do you see create backup in 3 minutes?
I see. Yes. Create a backup in 3 minutes. Okay.
Okay. Let's do that.
All right.
Okay. So it's going to show you your 24 words now on the device. Yeah. So the best practice when securing a 305 multisig is just keeping the one seed phrase. So we're going to keep your ledger seed phrase.
Okay.
The Trezors we're not going to record. We're just going to burn right through them. So it's actually 48. It's 48 clicks. It's going to show you 24, and then it's going to show you again.
Maybe you could give me just the 1 minute reason why we burned through the security, why we only keep one security phrase, I guess.
Yeah, so we're securing a 3 of 5 multisig, which is fundamentally different than having a single hardware wallet. So your seed phrase is everything if you're putting Bitcoin in a single sig hardware setup. It's your only backup, and so it's vital. But when you're securing a multi-sig, you have 5 keys, and the question becomes how much redundancy is needed, and at some point, or at what point does the extra 2 seed phrases, do they create an extra vulnerability for the full setup, or do they provide a necessary backup for those specific keys? And our view is that the security threat they pose outweighs the benefit of having them.
Gotcha.
And I can give you an example of the redundancy of a 3 of 5, if you like.
Yeah, please.
Okay, perfect. So let's use an extreme example where all 3 of your hardware wallets have been destroyed, and you very unluckily have dropped your phone in a big bucket of water in the bathtub. And so all your hardware devices are gone and your phone is down, so your mobile key is down. And so we're pretty concerned at this stage. But you can still recover your Bitcoin with a 3 of 5 using just keeping the 1 seed phrase. So the recovery process looks like this. You go and you get a new phone and you sign in. So we'll use iPhone as an example.
Yeah.
You sign into your iPhone using your credentials. Your mobile key is backed up into iCloud. So your phone will encrypt the mobile key and save it in iCloud. So when you log into your new phone and the Casa app, you'll have an option you'll be able to recover the mobile key. So you got 1 signing device back. The second one is you'll go home and you go to your safe where you keep your seed phrase.
Yep.
And we'll mail you new hardware. So you'll load your seed phrase back onto your home device. In this case, it's a ledger. So now you have 2 signing devices back.
Yeah.
And the third one is the Casa recovery key. So we're always there to sign on legitimate transactions that you request. And so you can sign 3 times. And so what we do is then we roll your Bitcoin into a brand new 3 of 5 and you're back to right where you started.
Wow.
And so
that's incredible.
Yeah. So in a scenario like that, you have all the redundancy you need for a very extreme scenario. And the other 2 seed phrases become, unnecessary.
Gotcha. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
So you're just balancing this trade-off between redundancy and self-sovereignty, something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So now it says you have successfully backed up your device.
Okay, great. So now we're going to set up a PIN.
So same PIN as I used on Ledger.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and you used Trezor before, so you understand the number pad and the black dots. Okay, great.
Yep. All right. PIN is set.
Awesome.
Name your device.
We're going to name this one Office.
Office. Okay. Confirm to continue. Enter the PIN. Do you really want to change the name to Office? Confirm. Wonderful name. Thanks.
Perfect.
All right.
And now
continue. All set. Trezor is ready to go.
Perfect. Okay, so now you'll see on the left-hand side, you'll see the Office name.
Yep.
And just to the right of that, there'll be like an eject button.
Yep.
And you'll hit that and instruct it to forget the device.
Forget device.
Yep.
Forget.
Okay.
Disconnect Trezor now.
Perfect. You can disconnect that. And we're going to put the briefcase sticker on the back of this.
Okay. Briefcase sticker. That would be that one.
Yep. Perfect.
Putting that on the back. Like so.
Perfect. Set that aside. We'll use it again to connect it. And then let's get the third Trezor or the second Trezor going.
All right. Basically the same order of operations.
Exactly. We're going to repeat that exact same thing.
All right. Installing firmware. All right. PIN is set. And I'm going to name this device.
We're going to name it Safe. S-A-F-E. Yep.
Safe. Enter PIN. Trezor is ready to go.
Okay, great. Okay, so the same thing as last time, you'll see safe on the top left.
Yep.
And you're going to instruct it to
Forget.
forget the device, but
Okay.
keep this one plugged in.
Okay. So hit forget, but leave it plugged in.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and you can put the safe sticker on the back of this Trezor.
All right. There's the safe.
Perfect. Great. Okay, great. So you can close the Trezor website.
Okay.
And now we're going to connect all the devices to the app on your phone. So you can go to your phone and open the Casa app.
All right. I'm in.
Okay, nice. Great. So you'll see at the bottom, begin key shield setup.
Okay. Mobile key, home key, office key, safe key.
Okay, great. So let's start with setup mobile key.
Okay. So set up mobile key and bingo. It worked.
Perfect. That's exactly what we want.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So then I'll just hit continue.
Continue.
Okay. So I've got the safe
Okay,
key
great.
and the mobile key set up.
Okay, great. So now we're going to set up home key.
And home key is also, oh, home key is the ledger.
Correct.
Okay.
So we're going to plug in the ledger, enter your PIN,
Okay.
and then click both buttons to open the Bitcoin app in the ledger once you're in.
Plugging in the ledger. Okay. And then enter the PIN.
Yep.
Okay, I'm in. Go into the Bitcoin app.
Yep. Both buttons to go in.
Okay.
So say Bitcoin is ready.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. So now in the app, you're going to go through the workflow to send the email. So set up home key.
Okay, so link your new device to your key shield, send email. This is waiting for key from device.
Perfect. So now you're going to go to your email on your computer.
Okay.
And then you're going to connect through there.
All right, connect your device now. So then I hit continue, and then I select API keys that Casa wants to connect to an HID device, Nano S. Select Nano S and hit connect.
Correct.
That worked.
Great.
And it looks like home key is set up.
So we're going to connect your other Trezor next.
Okay, do I just unplug the ledger or do I need to do anything first?
Yeah, you can just unplug it.
Okay. And I'm plugging in the office Trezor.
Yes.
Okay, it's got the keypad up. I guess I need to go.
Starts from the application on the phone. So we'll do set up office key.
Set up office key. Okay, Trezor. Let's go. Send email.
Perfect.
Check email again. Got another one here. Connect your device now. Trezor. Continue. Allow API.keys.casa permission to read public keys. Allow once for this session.
Yes, perfect.
Export public key. Oh, that worked. And the app looks good too. Looks like office key is set up.
Okay, great. So you can disconnect the office key. And then the last one is to set up the Casa recovery key.
Okay.
And all you need to do is tap on setup recovery key and it'll ask you to take a selfie.
Okay, set up recovery key. You're going to set up photo verification. Just a normal selfie, right?
Yep.
Okay, verification photo saved.
Okay, great.
All right, I got confetti on the app. I guess that's a good thing.
Beautiful. Now that you're all set up, that's your multi-sig all set.
Wow.
You can see the key shield is all set up with 5 purple icons and a teal ring.
Yep.
Perfect. There's a little downward arrow.
Because it looks cool.
Awesome. Great.
Beautiful.
If you tap on the little downward arrow below the key shield,
yep,
you'll see there's a link there to receive Bitcoin. So if you tap there, you'll see a QR code and a receiving Bitcoin address. So that's where you'll send Bitcoin to to receive into your multisig.
Wonderful.
And so each of those hardware devices gets stored inside a Faraday bag to protect against electromagnetic pulses.
Okay.
Home key gets locked inside a safe at home.
Okay.
Safe key goes to, typically we recommend a bank safety deposit box. Office key can be locked in the locked drawer in your office, and we have other ideas if you don't want to keep it in an office, or you don't have a traditional office that you use. After this, the last part of the onboarding is to schedule a security review call.
Okay.
And we can review your setup and collect a duress word and an emergency contact if you ever needed to use. And from there, you're all set to go.
Beautiful. Okay. And then this receive address, is that visible to anyone, or like, do you guys keep record of that receive address?
Do we keep a record of the receive address? Well, we can, your transactions get recorded into in the app and in our back end. So we can see your transactions. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And one thing you'll notice is every time you use a receiving address, the app will present you with a new one, and that's for your on-chain privacy. Mm-hmm.
There's always a new receive address.
Always a new receive address.
That's good. Okay, cool.
So right now, when you tap on that downward arrow, you only see an option to receive. Mm-hmm. Once you have Bitcoin in there, you'll see an option to send.
Okay.
And of course, sending is a little bit more involved, but it's similar to the same workflow that we use to connect your devices. So if you're sending, the mobile phone will automatically apply the mobile signature once you set up the send transaction.
Right.
And then it'll ask you to apply 2 more signatures. So it's the same workflow. You'll tap to add a signature, and then it'll send an email to your email, and you'll link to the device on the computer, and you'll be able to sign on the transaction using the device.
Okay, wonderful. And then in advance of the security call, would I set up, sort of figure out where the keys will be held, who they'll be held by, and then share that with you guys to see if that checks out, or how does that work?
Yeah, so you don't have to tell us where the keys are going and who's
you could just
them.
I was thinking more like, this one's going to my accountant, this one's going to my lawyer, something kind of semi-anonymized.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. We can help with answer any questions associated with that and the macro plan.
Yeah.
The details keep private.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. And then the inheritance piece, that's part of the security call, or that's separate?
So yeah, inheritance, that's a good question. So the inheritance is a separate program. Okay. So you'll be able to enroll up to 2 people and have them on file as known entities to us. Okay. And so typically it's a primary recovery custodian, is typically a spouse, and then you can name a second person who would be able to step in if your spouse was not available, or the primary person was not available to recover the Bitcoin. Once you sign up the recovery custodians, then we will mail you a physical envelope for each. Mm-hmm. And inside the envelope, we will help you put in all the information the recovery custodians would need in order to recover your Bitcoin if anything ever happened to you, and then how to use it. So then we would set up a call with them to make sure that they knew what it was and what was in it, how to use it if the time ever came.
Got it. Okay. And then does that include those envelopes include some accessibility to my devices perhaps too, because they need to get into phone or laptop, something like that?
Yeah, so you can do that. So what we want to do is provide them with the ability to sign 3 times, mm-hmm. but also preserve the security of your multisig. Gotcha. So what we do is through the app, you can print an encrypted QR code, which is a mobile key backup. So it's very secure, it's encrypted. If you were carrying it down the street and you dropped it, someone picked it up, they couldn't do anything with that QR code. It's encrypted and safe for you. But in the hands of your spouse, who is a recovery custodian, if she has that encrypted QR code backup, we can help her restore your mobile key if something happened to you onto her mobile phone. So she has gotcha. one signing. So that's a safe way of her getting a signing device.
Yeah.
inside the envelope, you'll also provide a copy of the 24-word seed phrase. So
Right.
that's a second signing device.
Okay.
And then the third one, of course, is the Casa recovery key. And so
Right.
by having them registered with Casa ahead of time, we can then provide our full support and sign on a transaction to move the Bitcoin from its existing wallet into their very own 3 of 5. And from there, they can manage it
Got it.
as
Okay.
planned.
Very cool. All right. Well, this has been great. I appreciate you walking me through all the complexities.
My pleasure.
And I look forward to the next one. Actually, like this sounds like now that we got it set up, I actually have to figure out how to structure the thing. So,
Okay, great. Good luck with that. If you need any help,
yeah.
we're always here.
Okay, I'll be in touch. Thanks so much.